I have presented two morals on the board. Which of those morals better fits the myth of Icarus? Lizzie. Excellent. The second one. Lizzie, can you tell me why the second one fits better than the first one?
Wait, what's first?
The Flight of Icarus.
Because Icarus is dead, so it's not the classify, but you did it anyways. I don't really know.
No, Lizzie, you do really know. My job is to tell you how you know. Do you have your Icarus packet near you? If not, find it. Grab your Icarus packet. All right. We have one that's bad, one that's good. Folks, please stop working on your individual myth. It's time to pay attention to this so you do the last section correctly. Do not act recklessly. Heed words of caution. Do any of you see any of those key words elsewhere in your packet? Where do you see that? Or some variation of it? You were going to be put to be careful where?
For Icarus.
Oh, for Icarus, his trait is being careful?
Yeah. Not careless.
Careless. Okay. So isn't that kind of synonymous with reckless? Right? I could have said, do not act carelessly. Did anybody actually give reckless as a character trait for Icarus? Did anybody give irresponsible as a character trait for Icarus? How about childlike? How about careless? See some careless out there? Did anybody give cautious, responsible, or mature as a character trait for Daedalus? What character traits do you give for Daedalus? Inventive. Smart. Caring. Lizzie said the second of these is better, and she's correct. I followed that up with why, and I'll tell you why. Because it seems to match another section of your packet, this being the character section. What word in the first one do I never see anywhere in the packet? Money. Mark, what other words? Okay, so I don't see money. What other words might be associated with money that maybe I'd see in the packet if something like that were there? What character trait do you have if you want lots and lots of money? Max? Greedy. I don't see anything about greed. I don't see anything about money, so I know that doesn't work. How do I know it? Because I understand the conflict and I understand the characters. Your moral must evolve from either your conflict or your character section. Who's got Midas? Would a moral about money or greed or material items be appropriate for Midas? Why? Because he was greedy, he wanted everything he touched to turn into gold. Excellent. Who's got Echo and Narcissus? Echo and Narcissus. Would it be appropriate for something like vanity to appear in there? Lizzie, what's the definition of vanity? If you're vain, if you're exceptionally vain, Lizzie, what are you? How would you describe yourself? Sierra, help out. Oh, go ahead.
You only care about yourself.
You only care about yourself. Which character could be described as vain in your story? Narcissus. Everybody repeat that. Narcissus. Thank you. Famous character in Greek myth. If you look in your character section and you see, oh, we described him as vain, could we use that word in our moral? Yeah, you could. What's your moral? I don't know. But you can play around with vain or vanity. Could they play around with greed? Absolutely. In fact, I think a moral of a Midas story would have something to do with greed. With Master Frog, what's your main conflict? Master Frog versus whom?
Society.
There you go. Versus society on what basis, Mark? What's the problem? He wants to marry a princess. How does society feel about that? Why not? Because they're prejudiced. Something about society, something about prejudice, something about prejudging somebody or judgment, all of that's about your conflict. You're probably going to see it in the conflict section. You'll probably see echoes of it in your moral section too. If you're wondering about how to write the moral effectively, I expect to see some connection between words in here and words in the conflict or character sections. And that's it. Time is yours.